Oh, it says 1 as usual on my dashboard. It's actually about coming up to 2 in the morning, I think, and it's pretty humid and sticky. Alright, how you doing, YouTube? I don't know if you can see condensation on the camera, maybe. So I wanted to have a ramble about Dubai's lane discipline problem. Oh, it is new traffic lights. Some of the internet forums and news sites based around the UAE, there's frequently letters complaining about the people flashing their headlights at drivers, and that kicks off this argument, which I want to address a couple of elements from. Firstly, the headlight flashing thing. There's a law in the UAE which means that if someone flashes their headlights at you, you have to get out of their way, which is basically a sort of legalized bullying system. So anybody can speed up behind you, flash their headlights, and if you don't move, you get into trouble. It's usually a 4x4 or an SUV. The people that are in favour of the light flashing will blame the whole thing on slow drivers that sit in the 3rd or 4th lane of the highway doing 80, and they blame a couple of fictional characters for this. Firstly, they blame the people that want to drive slowly, and the other one is the people who want to use their car as a kind of vigilante speed restrictor. You know, they want to drive along at the limit to stop everyone else from speeding. And these are both, I mean, they do exist, but especially in the UAE, they're both so rare as to be pretty much fictional. Firstly, the people that want to use themselves as a speed limiter, you would have to be suicidal to do that. And here, you know, the number of SUVs and 4x4s that speed, they're not exclusively, it's not just them, but it's mostly, if you see a Land Cruiser, you can guarantee they're going to do something stupid. It's mostly the SUVs that are driving at 200 clicks down the highways. If you want to put yourself in their way, you've pretty much got a death wish. I've got to get some fuel. I will continue in a minute. Oh, what happened there? Right, where was I? I was talking about the two fictional enemies. So there's the suicidal human roadblock people, who pretty much don't exist, and the people who just want to drive slowly. That's a phenomenon that you see in the UK and in the States, I guess, and probably most of Europe. Is the Sunday driver, people who are just out for a cruise. I don't think that exists in Dubai. You've seen most of these roads that I'm driving on, when they're not filled up with traffic, they're just pretty boring. Nobody in their right mind, I don't think, just goes out for a slow tootle along these highways. I think I'll just go and drive along a 7-lane highway at 80 kilometers an hour. Those people slowing everybody down, sitting in the wrong lane, are badly educated. They don't teach lane discipline here, and it certainly isn't well enforced. Or they're on the phone or distracted by something, a bit like that SUV I just passed on the right hand side. He was texting. You can spot a mobile phone user a mile off, because they're the ones driving like they're drunk, but slowly. The other side of the problem is the guys that just want to drive in the left hand lane all the time. And I'm thinking probably at this time of night on the highway is a good time to find an example of that. There is another reason for the drivers sitting in the left-hand lane all the time, and it's arrogance. There's one, look, he's almost in the left-hand lane, and there's 5 lanes to his right. But they tend to think that right-hand lanes are somehow inferior, and the left-hand lane is somehow a VIP lane. So the same kind of arrogance that you get that leads to the headlight flashes. It's the idea that everyone else has to get out of my way, which I think is pretty disgusting, to be honest, but fairly endemic. What are you doing 3 lanes over? Right now there is literally nothing behind me. In case you are one of these drivers, let me just explain lane discipline to you. If you're under highway conditions, you drive in the right-hand lane unless you're overtaking something on your right. Like this. I am overtaking this tanker. I have overtaken the tanker. The right-hand lane is clear. I'm signalling, check over my shoulder, I move back in. This is where I belong. Coming up to a truck, I'm going to signal out, check over my shoulder, move left. That's another truck. Keep my signal on, treating this lane as a separate manoeuvre, check over my shoulder again, cancel my signal. Now there's another pair of trucks in the right-hand 2 lanes, so I'm just going to stay out for a second. Please move back in. Lane to my right is clear, I can move back in. This is how it works. All clear to my right, I'm moving in. And here comes an SUV in the 5th lane on his phone. The white lane sign above me there means that this lane is splitting off, except that I know, we call this local knowledge, I know that that's not true. Because the road signs are incorrect. Thanks for watching. Give us a like, a subscribe. There's a truck driver on his phone. Yeah, ride safe. I'll talk to you next time. Good night.